Movies are something I don't usually partake in, but sometimes a film piques my overweening attention. A film so bad that I have no choice but to direct my unbridled gaze to this dumpster fire that I have the misfortune of witnessing. Fnaf is a franchise I've been with for quite some time, almost 12 years, which makes me feel really fucking old. Ugh. Oh. And one of the most requested requests from the Fnaf community was a movie based on several fights with the diabolical douchebag.
That's the proudest line I've ever come up with in history. The diabolical douchebag is crazy.
And one of the most requested requests from the Fnaf community was a movie based on several fights with the diabolical douchebag. No one thought this would ever happen until 2023 rolled around, and the movie finally dropped, and with a fresh pie in my hand, I decided to watch this telenovela where metal and flesh meet, and it was fine enough. I generally don't have much to say about the Fnaf movie. It was a bit cheesy, but what did you really expect from Five Nights at Freddy's? Then imagine my revolted reaction when I discovered the fuckheads at Blumhouse planned on making 2 more sequels, so they could fill Daddy Matthews' pockets with that sweet, sweet child-murdering moolah. As the months passed by and more came out about the film, my disgust grew more and more. Not too dissimilar to the ladies at Capcom's libido when designing Leon Scott Kennedy in Requiem. And then it released, and oh my fucking god, from what I've seen, it was so much worse than I can imagine. Like a nuclear blast of cringe. Seeing the screenshots of certain scenes in the film made me go, yeah, no. Then came along my fuck-ass brother. Yeah, something for that movie. And now here we are. Oh yeah, I guess he's here too, fucking cunt.
I'm kind of a large Fnaf fan. I quite enjoyed the Fnaf movie and have rewatched it several times. Sure, there was plenty wrong with it, but nothing worse than a few cheesy parts. I also feel like there was plenty right with it. Like the yellow rabbit design was perfect and the fan service was off the charts. So when I saw the FNAF 2 trailers and screenshots, I was quite excited. So my initial reaction when it came out to Peacock...
First of all, the FNAF 2 movie fucking is dreadful. And 2, Blood is so poor he can't even afford to pay attention to the theater. And not to mention, you're broke.
Wait, you're just...
This is the sound of me not caring.
Anyways, my initial reaction was to watch it with my brother.
I was forced to do this against my will. So, Jiminy Crim, give me and the viewers an extensive almighty insight to what makes this slotfest digestible.
Well, let's start at, the start. The beginning scene where we get to see the illuminated, exuberant, lively energy of the pizzeria brought to life by the colorful carousels and the whimsical water rides, until we catch a glimpse of the all too familiar, grim, incandescent, burning from the yellow rabbit's morbid stare.
The fuck are you talking about, Freakazoid?
Okay, buddy. The main character in this scene is Charlotte, a key character in the FNAF lore, if you know the FNAF lore, where she is a witness to this grisly picture of the yellow rabbit carrying away his victim of his insane homicide. Charlotte discovers the boy was not in fact the victim, but he was soon to be one. The righteous Charlotte saved the boy, but at the cost of 3 stab wounds to the back, ending in her demise, falling into the trapdoor which hides the puppet. She then rises out of the trapdoor, now sorrowful, and tears flowing down the cheeks of the saddened marionette, now a victim of the oppressive rabbit.
Why is my man writing down Shakespearean poems that he plans to show to his pimple-faced imaginary girlfriend?
Don't get mad at me because you have the intelligence of a gorilla that's been dropped too many times in the face.
Adding words don't make you smarter, bud. Blood's over here describing the death of a child like it's a melodrama classic. This entire scene makes no sense. If Charlotte fell through the mystical trapdoor like a gang beast ragdoll, how the hell does she gracefully end up in the arms of the sorrowful puppet? Sitting through more of this insulting mesh that brandishes the rotting skin of the Five Nights franchise, we get to one of the worst scenes in the entire movie. First, we cut to Vanessa dreaming away about her Darrow daddy, who she previously pulled the blicky on until getting a free bowel resection for her troubles. One of my main problems for this scene is the fact that it means nothing. There's no resolve, like, oh no, she has bad memories of her father haunting her in her dreams, only to miraculously be forgotten for a plot device for the next film.
It's a bit more than just some bad memories. Her father was dangerously possessive and a literal murderer.
This gives all the more reason to why being forgotten instantly is a showcase to the terrible writing that's forced upon the poor actors. Vanessa never learns from this experience, not even being brought up at the end. Matthew only appears for a grand total of 2 minutes to get his paycheck, just to dip out into the briny pits of Tartarus. This whole build-up scene where Vanessa is being haunted by visions of her dead dad while trying to look smacks to impress good old Mikey to the absolute disdain of T.E.A.D is pointless. What exactly is the point of this scene? To show that even after death he still plagues Vanessa's mind? If that's the case, why does this concept get put on the back burner for the rest of the film? Which kinda gives me the damnedest feeling that this will return in the next installment like an incessant cancerous growth. Which reminds me of a certain someone. Her whole character and what little character development she got was staggered, leaving her in the same position as she was the last film, only slightly worse.
Wait, she literally is the exact same, slightly better. How is she worse?
Are we watching the same film?
I'm pretty sure we are. Also, not to mention another character that got amazing character development, which you seem to know absolutely nothing about, is my goat, Doug. My boy comes in here looking like a stud. Better call Saul, more like better denominate Doug. This man could lawyer William Afton himself and win. The absolute chat of a man, truly. My man is a philanthropist of emotions. He could brighten the darkest moods.
You do realize in the novelization of the movie, Scott got the bright idea of making the fan favorite character into Diet EDP?
No.
So let's talk about something that's actually important to the plot. One of, if not the most integral parts of any media, is the writing itself. I don't think it's a secret to anyone that Scott kinda sucks at writing stories, paired with the storylines that come from the degenerate minds of whatever slop is being produced by the schizophrenic crackheads at Blumhouse Studios. That makes the plot more confusing than the ketamine-induced junkies running up my wall. Let's talk about one of the biggest plot points that separates the games from the movies, and yes, I know comparing the games to the movies is like comparing a chicken sandwich to a burger. Practically the same, but different ingredients, except they're both extremely raw inside, and while both of them are still gonna make you sick, one just won't kill you. Maybe. But going back to the plot point, if you can even remember that's what I was talking about, I was gonna bring up the fact that the Withers in this fucking movie make zero sense. Where do they come from? What is their purpose? Why aren't they the originals? The latter of which making it so that the Withers become the diabolical douchebags you faced down on the original Five Nights. I feel like the introduction of the Withers also hurts the film in many ways. They're some of the most iconic and beloved designs, and sure, while they might have been recreated faithfully here, that doesn't make up for the lack of screen time. Hell, I mean, Jeremiah got more screen time than these misfits. Also, they lack their own version of Golden Freddy. In fact, no version of the Golden Furball makes their appearance in this film. They cast him into fucking Hades. The only reference my man gets is this little snot stain that possesses him. The pacing of this film is also dreadful, with things occurring way too fast. Despite this atrocity clocking in at an hour and 40 minutes, it feels like the movie never gives the viewer enough time to digest the information it presents or the ideas that it wants to show, because, don't get me wrong, there were moments of the film I really liked, but none of them lasted enough for me to appreciate them, leaving me in the dust as I try to comprehend what just happened. Speaking of the pacing, that isn't the only thing that makes this movie hard to comprehend. The dialogue in this film is straight up dog shite, with either lines that make no sense or characters that make frustrating decisions. Which then leads me to the queen shit of disdain, Abby. I don't want to sound like I'm bullying an actual fucking child, and to a certain extent, it's not really the actor's fault, but Jesus Christ, some of the decisions made by Abby in this film make the rope swinging from the rafters very appeasing. One of the most egregious aspects of this is when she just blindly trusts the animatronics, because one, it's kinda weird that an 11-year-old hasn't let go of their killer robot friends, and two, these clearly aren't the same clankers that nearly gave her the old Willie A treatment. All this combined together, whether it be the horrid writing, breakneck pace, or stupidly dangerous decision-making by the Wonder Child, it makes the entire plot of the film feel aimless, like it's fitting multiple different loosely connected stories together at once. The plot can't keep its story markers in check. So many plot points come and go and are never seen again. Same thing with some of the side characters. Oh, you see Doug? Well, he's here for 2 seconds and no more. And don't even get me started on
Jeremiah! Buddy is literally straight up, no word of a lie, the greatest side character known to man. First off, Buddy is the most prolific wingman of all time, can sense the crazy ones from a mile away, and then proceeds to give that same crazy a ride. Bro literally has Chad senses, absolute masterpiece of a man, wonderful divine peak of humanity. Like, sure, he wasn't the greatest in the first film, but character development. And Buddy is so good at life, he evolves into the next stage of evolution, unadulterated stunness. Towards the end of the film, Buddy clocks Michael Afton with the most sublime clothesline straight out of the WWE. Dude is heavenly and an absolute first-class athlete.
My brother in Christ, this man you just wasted my time glazing has 2 scenes. What is
I don't know.
This man you wasted my time glazing has 2 scenes
3.
in an hour and 40 minutes. What is your purpose here? Why the fuck are you in my video?
Because I clearly am more knowledgeable about this subject than you are, pal.
You are more knowledgeable in a series made for the same demographic that Willy Boy has slaughtered so much. Congratulations. You have not offered me a single argument to convince me that this movie is nothing more than a train wreck disaster that's ready to bathe the neighboring city in so much nuclear fallout it would make Raccoon City blush.
You haven't made a point that I actually can't defend.
The puppet slash marionette slash Charlotte is easily one of the worst aspects of the FNAF movie, bar none. Not only completely defeating the point of the original character, but also turning her into a depressing husk of her former self. First, let's start off by examining her reason for setting in motion the events of the film: revenge. A simple revenge story isn't something that's new to the FNAF franchise, but what is making that revenge directed at people not even involved. Take this scene for example. Charlotte has Toy Bonnie almost kill an innocent woman. For what reason? Simply due to the fact that she's a parent. No correlation, no nothing. And if it wasn't stupid enough, her whole character has been completely butchered, from Charlotte, a giver of life, to Cassidy, the vengeful spirit. This baffles me quite a bit because there's no reason to change it. The only reason I can think about changing it is to make it artificially different compared to the games, which is terrible writing. It becomes even worse when you factor that in because she's a vengeful cunt possessing whoever she pleased to get her way. This was never an aspect of the FNAF series and is easily one of the worst parts of the movie, mostly because of the makeup. What makes it even more confusing is the puppet vessel. Is it even real, or is it just part of Charlotte? Several times throughout the film, it acts as a demon of sorts, possessing people, slithering around, and moving in non-robotic ways. I generally don't understand what they were thinking, or what they were going with this character. It's not only a rehash of the original FNAF movie, just simply targeting random people now, but it also feels like the writers wanted her to replace Cassidy. Not that that really matters, because what did you expect from FNAF? Quality, like that's ever gonna happen? The writing in this movie makes the actual FNAF lore look competently made, and there's generally not a single person on this planet who can make me understand why people enjoy this cancerous plague upon the earth.
Well, okay, it's not that bad. Okay, it's pretty bad, but it's only one small thing.
What about the We Are FNAF scene?
What? Wait, no. Anything with that?
We Are FNAF scene.
That scene is fucking horrible.
Bazinga.
The scene is an absolute cesspool of garbage. The chronic chicken shit that is this scene. As a matter of fact, why the fuck do I even still care about this lamentable fucking series? The bum ass lore is actually mind-numbingly imbecilic, pointless, and crack-brained. This franchise is absolutely abominable, detestable, loathsome, and appalling, and utter.
Well, this is it. This is one of the worst scenes in a movie I've ever watched. While the one might have come close, nothing can beat the absolute bollocks that is this scene. Where do I begin with this fucking scene? First of all, let's start with the Avengers style music that sounds like it came straight out of Endgame. The stupidity of this scene generally makes me ashamed to ever have been into FNAF. Whoever thought of this scene or even fucking came up with it should be sent to the gallows. You can't even blame me for getting mad. This is a FNAF movie, not an Avengers level threat. The way this whole scene is shot, written and composed gives off the impression that it's trying to take itself way too serious. Which, one, it's a FNAF movie, there's nothing serious about this. Two, it looks straight out of a low-budget superhero film. And three, they something out of...
You voice acted chair creaking eternity. That was crazy. That was wild. Professional voice actor.
And 3, they summoned out of nowhere, out of Doctor Strange's portals, and ripped the toy animatronics apart, just like that. And that's not because I care about the toy animatronics, because no, fuck them. You're telling me these are supposed to be the big bads of the movie, only to get embarrassingly taken apart by Frederick McFazlebear III and his mischief band of Super Zeros, only for them to immediately fucking die afterwards. This scene is just a joke. And if you look at this and you think genuinely this movie is good or worth defending,
Kill yourself!
I'm fucking done with this. Get this shit out of my face. On a more serious note, I mostly had a fun time watching the FNAF 2 movie. Not because it was good, but because how fucking awful it was. If it wasn't obvious enough, this entire video was made on a whim, simply due to how awful it was. I think the FNAF 2 movie perfectly symbolizes the quality of FNAF as late. Not good at all. And if you like this movie, you're wrong, I'm right, fuck you. Good night, ladies and gentlemen. Please be, I need this. Please, my mama kinda homeless. My mama kinda homeless. On a more serious note, I had a mostly fun time watching the FNAF 2.
Why are you trying to hold in your left?
That's disrespectful as fuck. Bomb the clock like a patada, there's a bomb in my car.